Hi folks, in this video we're going to be talking about the time of day that you are at your best. When is your prime time? Let's find out. Hi folks, when are you at your best? When is your prime time? Well, that's what this video is about, so let's get after it. First of all, my name is Eric Herdman. I'm a professional speaker. I speak on productivity, resiliency, leadership, and communication. Today, though, we are talking, when are you at your best? First of all, if you find some value in this video, make sure you go down below and like and subscribe. Your prime time was determined in large part by, did you win the genetic lottery? That's right, your genetics determine, are you a morning person, a midday person, an evening person, or a night owl? Now, during our professional day, our work day, typically the 7 to 3, the 9 to 5, the 8 to 6, whatever it might be, we have two chronotypes that we fall into. That doesn't change our genetics just because we work a certain hours, but let me explain. We have morning people, and morning people typically are at their best right out of bed. They don't really need coffee to make coffee. They wake up and their brains are lit up and ready to go. Their bodies are moving and they're sharp. That's a really good way to say it. They're quick, they're sharp in the morning. The midday people tend to have their prime time over the lunch hour. It typically starts around 10:30 or 11 in the morning, and they reach their peak over the lunch hours, 12, 1, maybe 2 o'clock at the latest, and then they start to slide down into lower energy in the afternoon and, of course, into the evening. Our evening folks tend to reach their peak energy around 2, 3, 4 o'clock, and keep it till they probably go to bed, 9, 10, 11. Those folks, those late afternoon, evening folks will tend to stay up a little later and get up a little later in the morning if they can. And then, of course, we have our night owls. Our night owls typically hit their prime time midnight. So, again, over the middle part of the night, which is 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. That's when they reach their prime time. Not the best for our typical professional business workday, but let's talk about how to utilize these. Once you identify your prime time, and that's pretty easy because just me talking about them, you probably were like, I'm that, or no, I'm that one, or I'm that one. You probably know. Most people don't need a fancy assessment or quiz, even though there are some on the internet. You can tell if you've ever done one that they're kind of thrown together. I'm not taking away from anybody's assessment that's out there, but we tend to know where we are at our best, where we feel our best. I'll give you some hints here real quick. First of all, when you wake up in the morning, is it a slow roll, or do you get out of bed like you're going to a 5-alarm fire? That's one way you'll be able to tell. People that are morning people get out of bed, jump out of bed, and get to it. And they may want coffee or like coffee, but as I said earlier in this video, they don't need coffee to make coffee. Your midday people tend to get up in the morning, and they can get up pretty decent hour, but they're, as they say, not feeling it. A little slow to wake up. They probably benefit from having some caffeine of some sort, or may want some food for energy to kind of fuel things and get things rolling along. But they reach their prime time again over the lunch hour. So late in the morning, they start feeling more alive and even get a little more talkative. Our afternoon people, they typically get out of bed and they wait as long as they can to get out of bed. You see my point with that one. But again, after lunch, they're really lighting the world on fire. So that will probably tell you a little bit about what chronotype or prime time type you are. And again, 3 in our workday: the morning person, the midday, high energy over the lunch, and the afternoon person, high energy in the afternoon into the early evening. How to use those? Well, you take your MITs. As we've been talking in this series, we've been talking about how to be your most productive. One of our videos, and I'll link all of them below, one of the videos was on taking your MITs and putting them on your schedule. Of course, that video will also tell you and inform you and help you decide what are your MITs, how to discover what your MITs are. Even if you need some help on what might be an MIT, we've got a video on that, on how to be your most productive and find out what is giving you the biggest chunk of your results. But taking your MITs, your most important task, and placing them inside your prime time is the way to go. You see, let's use a morning person as an example. And I'm smiling because I'm a morning person. I am that person that wakes up, my brain is alert, my body's ready to go. I get out of bed, I make my bed, I do my morning routine, I keep moving, I work out in the morning. And once I start work, I place my 2 MITs, my most important tasks, early in my day. Today, for example, I'm doing a keynote presentation in just a few moments from now, and I did an MIT at 7:30 and another one at 9:30. Each of them lasted an hour. They were blocked off on my calendar. Everything was set aside. All the work was set up so that I could just get right into it, and they went great. And I didn't really suffer any letdown, any energy robbers from that, because I did those MITs in my prime time. I did that on purpose today because at 2:30 today, Pacific time, I'm giving a keynote presentation. And if I had put those right before the presentation, like at 11 or even 12 or 1, that would have taken away from my energy, my enthusiasm, my focus during the keynote presentation. But that's another special part of the prime time, is that we somewhat get some insulation from the work that we do. First of all, let me expand on what happens in a prime time block with an MIT, with a very important task, a piece of work that's very important. First of all, you do your best work there. Your brain is ready to go. You're able to really focus. You can block distractions and get into the flow state. The quality of work is awesome, and you don't get hit with a ridiculous amount of fatigue as if you were to do that MIT outside your prime time. Give me an example of what happens with that. If I have to do accounting work, I'm not your math whiz when it comes to that. The left brain, logical reasoning, and analytical activities escaped me in the genetic lottery. I'm a right brain creative type of person. If I do analytical work, if I do accounting work at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, I can do it. It's not pretty. And that's exactly what happens after I'm done with it. If I do an hour's worth of accounting work or some expense work or some accounting with my business, after I get done with that, let's say I work on it from 2 to 3. After I get done with that, I'm done. It will deplete me because, first of all, I'm a morning person, and at that point of the day, my energy cycle is down. It's down here. And so, yes, sometimes we have to do hard things. Work is work, and we have to do it sometimes where we have to do it because of other commitments and obligations and priorities. But if I do it at that hour, I really got to be done after I finish that piece of work. And I also have to be very careful about mistakes and errors because, again, I'm prone to them. I'm going to fall prey to them at that time of the day. Take that same piece of work and put it in the morning. All of a sudden, I can do it a little bit faster even. If it takes me an hour in the afternoon, I can probably do it in 45 or 50 minutes in the morning. And also, I can leave that block of accounting work that I'm not good at and move right on to the next thing. It doesn't beat me up as much. It doesn't rob me of some executive functions of thinking, creating, and problem solving. And after just a short break, in the morning, after finishing that up, after just a short break, I can come back and work on something else, another MIT. As long as it's in that prime time, I'm pretty good. So take your most important task and try to put them in your prime time. Think of your prime time like a curve, right? Your high energy. I got a high energy. My energy's high, and you're trying to place your prime time or your MITs in that under the curve, if you will, of your prime time. You want to avoid, if you're a morning person, you want to avoid doing them too early or outside of that curve. If you can do that, you'll get many, many benefits. As I've said, it's easy to get in the flow state where you just kind of start cranking workout, and you'll surprise yourself sometimes of how much you got done. Sometimes you even surprise yourself how well it goes, the quality of the work. Not a lot of errors, not a lot of misspellings and math errors and that sort of thing. And you come out of it with a lot of energy still. So to wrap up this video, be thinking about taking those MITs and placing them in your prime time, wherever that might be, a morning block, a midday block, an afternoon and early evening block. Depending on where you are, take those MITs and place them on your schedule in your prime time. Measure for yourself. Measure for yourself. See what happens. Pay careful attention to your energy going into it and coming out of it. What was the quality of the work like? After a short break, can I come back and do another block of prime time work? Your answers are probably going to be yes. If you have any comments or questions, place those down below. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Just put them in the comments section, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you take care of yourself so you can take care of each other.